Hello everyone, it's Elaine. Thank you for joining me here today on my YouTube channel. Before I jump into the card, I just wanted to share this image with you. This is the image I have used for my card inspiration today. So to start off with, I have taken 3 pieces of heavyweight white cardstock and I'm cutting out this frame which comes in the Mama Elephant Cloud 9 die set. I really like the wonky stitched edging that it gives. Once I've cut that out 3 times, I'm just making sure that all my stitching is the right way up and just pop them over onto their front and just pop an arrow in pencil on the back just so I don't get confused about which way up all these pieces need to be because they are slightly different. Grabbing my Landscape Trio Mama Elephant die set as well, and I'm going to be using these wavy dies to cut out some snowbanks for my snowy scene. So I just lay my die on top, press some washi tape on top to keep it in place, and I put my 2 pieces together just to help me measure out the heights for my snowbanks. So there's all my 3 pieces together. I'm just going to form my scene, and now I can move on to my ink blending. So I tried to choose colours that matched my colour palette inspiration. So this is Tattered Rose. I did take a makeup brush. It's a clean one. I used mostly all my makeup brushes for my crafting are obviously clean, but the colour wasn't applying as nicely as I had hoped, so I just went in with a standard ink blending tool and my colour was applying a lot faster, and I was just happier in general with how it was applying onto the cardstock. So starting at the top and working my way down and just really lightly and slowly blending on that colour. My Tattered Rose is a very juicy ink pad, so I have to be really careful with making sure tapping off the majority of the excess before taking it to my card. Just getting a good coverage on there. And I've also gone in with Victorian Velvet, and this colour you're seeing here is the Delicata Rose Gold ink pad. I haven't used it much and I just thought it would be nice to pull it out, have a look, see what it looks like on a card. It's a little stencil brush there that I'm applying it with, and just mainly focusing that colour around the top edge of the card and just lightly building that up. It does have a really nice shimmer to it, but you can't really see it on camera. Finally, aged mahogany. Being very light-handed with this colour, it can get really dark, so that's why I always tap off the excess before taking it to my cardstock. Now for my little snowbanks here, I'm using some iced spruce. Again, I really take my time to build up the colour, and you will see that I got a splotch of Tattered Rose down in that bottom left-hand corner. And I did take a paper towel and some water and did blot it up. It did leave a mark, but you'll see at the end how I did cover that up. But now I've taken my other snowbank. Again, really lightly and gently building up the colour. I don't want the colour to get too dark. I want them to be quite soft. Just gradually. And when I'm happy with that, I'm then taking this Pixie, I think it's Pixie liquid. I'll have the exact term down in the description box below, but I'm taking a little mini mister here and I'm adding 3 or 4 drops directly into the mini mister, and then I'm just using my little medicine dropper here. It's just water, and I'm just putting a few drops inside there, and then I'm going to give it a really good shake, and this will give me a really nice shimmery mist. So first of all, I just spray my snowbanks, spray it all over. And then I'm going to bring in my background piece and give that a really generous spritz. Super pretty. Now to add some splatter for my snow, I've just got some Copic Opaque White, and I've just put a little bit there on my acrylic block. I've added some water, but I am going to give it a little spritz from that mini mister as well. You can't really see the shimmer on the snowflakes, but it helped me loosen up that Copic Opaque White. And now I generously and very generously splatter on my snow. So I was here for quite a while, building up that snow. I like to go in quite gentle at first and build up and gradually start to tap a little bit harder once I'm happy with the general base coverage. So again, just using up all that white on the acrylic block. So I set that aside to dry, and now I can move on with my images. So these images are the Hello Bluebird First Snow stamps set, and I did use the coordinating dies as well. I've used some Bristol Smooth cardstock, and I have stamped the images out with a dark brown Archival ink. And I did want some of my elements to match the sky. So this is Victorian velvet that I've smooshed onto an acrylic block. Now I'm not an expert watercolorer. I'm just making sure that I try and put some darker shadows or darker ink or less watered down ink in the areas where I want the darker shading to be, and then just pulling that out with some clean clear water. Then I'm moving on to my little reindeer here, and these are my Zig Clean Colour Real Brush markers. So I'm just applying a little bit of colour and then pulling that out with the blender pen so that the more concentrated colour stays in the shadows. And I generally go over my images twice just to get a really nice depth of colour. And then for my bunny, I'm going in, I'll have all of the exact colours listed down below. But this one is a brown, and then once I've laid down the colour, I pull all the colour out directly with the blender pen. I haven't used my Zig markers for quite some time, so need to get back into some colouring with them again. I do find if I haven't used a colouring medium for quite some time, I do forget, and I do need to refresh. So again, just pulling that colour out, and I do repeat the process a couple of times just to get some nice contrast. Bringing in that Victorian velvet again for the mittens. Just darkening up that colour. And I also applied that Victorian velvet to the cheeks and the inner parts of the ear. I've just used my white gel pen there to add some dots to the scarf, and also to cover up some of my mistakes where I went over the lines. For the reindeer here, I have used a dark brown, and I'm pulling that darker brown colour out with a beige colour, and then I will go in with my blender pen. So it's slightly different for the reindeer. I'd love to know which one you think is coloured, not the best, but what one you prefer. I think going in with a brown and then a lighter brown and then a blender, I think I personally prefer that better. But I do think they're super cute, and I don't think there's a wrong or a right. Just do what personally feels right for you. Just a little bit of light beige onto the nose or the muzzle. And then I did off camera just go ahead and cut those out with the coordinating dies. So now I'm going to start building my scene. I've just popped a little bit of spare cardstock on the back of the taller snowdrift, and then pop some glue on the back of that, because I am going to slide in some little houses and trees shortly. So I just wanted a little bit of a gap. And then just applying that smaller snowbank, again just with liquid adhesive. Now these are the little trees and houses that I cut. These are a Mama Elephant die set. I can't remember again the exact name, but I'll have it listed down and probably on the screen. I used some really nice shimmery grey and green cardstock for those. Smooshed on some iced spruce onto a piece of cardstock, white heat embossed a sentiment, and I'm just securing that down with a piece of double-sided adhesive. When I'm happy with where it's positioned, just press it down firmly, and now I can adhere my little critters again just with some liquid adhesive. Not too much. And now I can add some of my embellishments. So these little snowflakes, little clay snowflakes, are from Lucy's Little Things. And I think they're adorable. They're the perfect size. So I was really generous with these. and then I did just sort of smush on lightly some more liquid adhesive along the bottom, again to cover up that mark that I used with the Tattered Rose. Just applied some really nice chunky glitter, and also just to finish off I adhered these little gold stars, and that is my scene complete. And now I can just adhere that to a card base, an A2 sized card base. It's going to be a top folding one. Just use some double-sided adhesive to secure that down, and that is my card for today complete. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're interested in any of the products that I've used in this video, please check out the description box below, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.